Well, the other problem I see with him is the fact Cody Rhodes and the Young Bucks are vice president. If you're vice presidents, does that mean you win every match you're in? And if you do, then what makes you different from Triple H?
Or the McMahon family.
Yeah, what makes you different?
It's showtime! We got no fear, no doubt, and balls out. We're going up tonight to kick out every night. The reason I'm leaving is you people, because after I'm gone, you're still going to pour money into this company. I'm just a spoke on the wheel. The wheel's going to keep turning, and I understand that.
Oh, you should put that speech on tape.
He pulls a knife, you pull a gun. He sends one of yours to the hospital, you send one of his to the morgue. That's the Chicago way.
Hello, Chicago, hello.
Hello.
Hello. Got a drink to that?
Welcome to Alternate Reality.
Them going, fix the last hour. Do something.
There's something dumber than that?
Oh, yes. A lot of ideas much dumber than that. That was the best of all the suggestions. And they went, okay, this one doesn't.
So when SmackDown moves to Fox in September, all of the dumb stuff goes to USA then.
What's wrong with that?
I told you my thing.
What was your thing?
I hope XFL does a ton of money, which I know it's not. I'm not stupid. I just hope that it does. It gets Vince out of wrestling.
It will. Vince has to leave in order to oversee the XFL.
No, I'm in permanent. I'm not talking about
permanently. I also read something. So after reading something, I found out I'm going to be a less harder on Vince than I have been.
Okay, yeah.
Vince spends one day a week in the office till 3 in the morning. He says the problem is
Whose fault is that?
He's got to work on stuff.
No, he doesn't. He has a staff. He has
a son-in-law. He doesn't trust.
No. Triple H does not suggest to Vince
because he knows Vince isn't going to listen to him.
He's going to say no.
And so that's what
exactly.
Well, so whose fault is that?
Well, the other problem he says that Vince is open to suggestion, but he's open to suggestion from everyone who comes up with one.
Yes, he's open to suggestions for stuff that he likes. Tell me what I want to hear, and I'm open to it.
Anything.
I know that, but he doesn't use most of the stuff people tell him.
Why did he botch the Dean Ambrose situation?
Look at Moxley, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
What ideas he came up with.
That was botched badly.
Right, that was
badly botched.
I think you should be goofy.
Spock, sit down.
He can't be goofy. He
is goofy.
No.
So now he's a faux Stone Cold clone. He's not Stone Cold. It's not going to get work like that.
Okay, why would you try to turn him into Terry Funk when he's more like Flying Brian?
I said from the moment he got there, he was going to be Terry Funk.
And I told you he'd be much better as Flying Brian.
Yeah. I said he was Terry Funk. That was when Terry Funk before Moxley got on the roster as Ambrose. He and Foley were working on a program where he was channeling Terry Funk. He's not Flying Brian. He's Terry Funk.
It doesn't fit.
It fits perfectly. Terry Funk, you didn't know whether he was sane or crazy.
Well, does he want to go through the work that Terry Funk went through? Terry Funk would get the crap beat out of him.
Terry Funk he'd get the living crap.
Well, does he want to go that route with it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm just telling you the way he looked, the way he carries himself. He's exactly like the loose cannon Flying Brian.
Flying Brian came up with most of this stuff from.
Who?
Terry Funk.
Yeah, but he was a much more athletic brawler. Terry Funk was like your drunk uncle in a bar. Give him 2 shots of and sit back and watch him swing.
Two shots of what?
Tequila, bourbon, Jameson,
Terry Funk
Hennessy.
Could work any kind of match.
Be specific, Olsen.
Terry and Dory Funk could work any kind of match you came up with. You know why he didn't do that crazy stuff? Because that's what Dory was doing. He didn't want to do the same stuff his brother was doing. That one made them different. That's why Owen didn't wrestle like Brett. They've got to be different. Brothers can't wrestle the same. They're not like the Usos. Okay, they wrestle as a group because they're brothers and they've been together since birth.
And they're also twins. That's what they do.
They're also twins, and so they're always around each other. And so, yes, they're going to come up with stuff and they're going to work stuff off of each other. The Funks, they didn't act at all alike. Dory was a hard ass. Terry was just loony. I don't know, your cactus, there's something wrong with this situation. And then he hit you with a branding iron and try to kill you.
And that's what's wrong with the situation.
That's very funny.
The Comic Book Man here. Hey, folks, welcome back to the Alternate Reality. We've been gone for a little bit of time. I'm being joined today by the one and only Rod Flash.
Hello.
And Motormouth over here, of course, is one, the only, the inimitable Bocepheus. Say
How you doing, kids?
Say hi, Bo.
How you doing?
The Alternate Reality podcast has been gone for a little while for a variety of reasons. I got sick for one of them.
Don't blame me for your cold.
Yeah, you gave me you came in here sick like 2 months ago, and I'm still getting rid of it. But JR and I did 2 shows together.
It was Shazam.
Yes, Shazam. Episode 99 was Shazam. Episode 98 was Captain Marvel. Took me forever to get the Shazam one up. It took almost as long to get the Captain Marvel one up. I have many irons in the fire here at Alternate Reality, the comic book store, among which are the videos that I do each week now. There's AR Calendar, the new show, and Ship Shape Update, which I've been doing for the last 2 years. And those take a fair amount of time, plus running the store, plus doing the website, plus doing a bunch of other stuff. And one of the things that we're going to be doing with the Alternate Reality from this point forward is we're no longer doing hour-long shows. We're going to be doing half-hour-long shows. Why? Because it takes me about 8 hours to do an hour-long show, and it only takes me 4 hours to do a half-hour-long show. What's the difference? I can do a 4-hour-long show in one sitting.
I've watched him do it. It's actually true.
An 8-hour-long show, I'll probably have to break at some point and go to bed, and I never get back to it. That's been the big problem with the Captain Marvel show and the Shazam show. They both should have been done a long, long time ago. It's just when I set them down and walk away, for reasons, I can't get back to it.
He's got cats at home that are really crazy.
Well, I've got a variety of things going on. Of the aforementioned, I just mentioned. But so from now on, we're going to be doing half-hour shows, not hour shows. Hopefully, they'll be coming to you faster. We will see. But in any case, that's what you can expect from this point on. As of course, one thing that hasn't changed is we are coming to you from the heart of beautiful downtown Mount Greenwood in the Alternate Reality recording studios.
You got those solid gold toilets in there yet?
Wow. Fallacious.
The fallacious Alternate Reality recording studio. In Alternate Reality, the greatest little comic book store in the history of the world, located here on the south side of Chicago. 111th and Kedzie, beautiful downtown Mount Greenwood. Alternate Reality, where all new comics are always 15% off every day for everyone. Today we're going to talk about
AEW.
Oh, how about that AEW?
The future, the possibilities, what could go right, what could go wrong.
And I didn't see Double or Nothing.
No, because you don't want to spend $50.
I didn't want to spend $50 on it. I didn't want to spend $50.
And that was exactly the conversation we had. I don't know if I want to spend $50.
Well, if you would have paid it, I would have gotten
I still
it.
would have.
But you never paid it.
But we did watch the 1 hour YouTube thing,
Yes.
the Battle Royal and the singles match, which is actually one of the best matches I saw from the year from guys I'd never heard of before that moment.
Yeah, the buy-in.
The buy-in.
We saw the buy-in. And
which is still available on YouTube.
And I have watched a buttload of YouTube videos about
You
AEW.
and I, the following day, watched about every single AEW video was out there because they treated this like a media event only because Tony Khan said, this is what we do in sports. Are they going to do this every time? Well, I don't know. I mean, well, in Las Vegas, UFC fights are considered as main events anyway. They send news crews out there. This one you had press conferences and scrums and people talking and interviews and guys like Mark Henry walking up with a microphone going, "Hey, Cody, how you doing?"
That surprised the hell out of me. Mark Henry doing interviews.
He works for
Really?
He works for Busted Open Radio.
Okay. Yes, the day after Double or Nothing, we watched a whole bunch of YouTube videos like all day long. And since then, I have watched a bunch more YouTube videos out there. Talk is Jericho, Busted Open, Cornette, who doesn't like AEW.
Well, Cornette,
he's not happy with it.
Cornette doesn't like AEW because Cornette has never liked the Young Bucks. They've been feuding for years because he says they're just the guys who do nothing but a lot of high spots and they don't really have any psychology.
Well, Cornette's an old school guy.
Yeah.
He readily admits that if you ever listen to him. He's an old school guy. That's just the way he is. That's what you're going to get in this show. And if you don't like it, you have to listen somewhere else. This is me.
Yeah, that's nothing new. He's hated the Young Bucks since they popped up on the radar. He's never liked them.
And so I think I'm pretty well versed on Double or Nothing. I've seen one or two of them, the ones that have gotten out to YouTube.
Yeah.
I've seen those. Yeah. But no, $50. And, Cody Rhodes said that.
He said quite clearly,
he said $50
we're
is
not
a
going
little
to spend
steep.
$50 for pay-per-view. They are not going to be monthly pay-per-views. He made that quite clear. And there will be a pay-per-view for All Out, which was sold out in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, it's not that complicated to sell it out the way they did it.
Well, it's the same venue they had for the first time, but it's a smaller venue.
It's a smaller venue.
I've talked to some folks about this. Some people who wish that they'd gone to like Allstate or the United Center and rented that out and seen if they could sell that out instead.
Yeah.
It's better to sell out small venues for a couple of years running and to make you want the product than it is to worry about filling a huge stadium. And look, we're going to play games with the numbers because the place is only half full.
Right.
Or how do we hide the fact that it's only 3/4 full? Or what do we do with the empty seats? As opposed to, we can sell out a small venue.
No, they could go.
Okay,
they
and make
could
people
have
watch
went to USC. They could. USC could be the next place they go to. They're not going to get United Center. That's way too big, and they're not going to get Allstate because it's WWE. They're never going to get that. But their setup is different, though. You have to be subscribed to their social media platforms to get the ticket. So unless you are, you're not getting a ticket. That's why you sell it in 15 minutes. In secondary market, they sell like 4 times the prices right now.
But the idea of booking smaller venues, selling out, and making a demand is a smart idea.
Yeah.
I've been under the impression that the big problem AEW is going to have, if they have a problem coming up, is going to be in October when they're doing weekly shows, because that is going to cement the brand in a vast majority of people's minds. Right now, it's a bunch of hardcore fans who love what they do.
Only hardcore fans.
And they want a larger audience, which is perfectly understandable,
Right.
but that show is going to do that. When they start broadcasting on TNT every Tuesday, every week, week in, week out, you're going to know what you're going to get each week after the first couple of weeks.
That first show is going to have to knock it out the park, because if it doesn't, people aren't going to tune in for the next show.
So in other words, that first show is going to have to be like the first episode of Nitro.
It's going to have to be
and not the first show of
totally
Thunder.
loaded. The problem with being completely, totally loaded is they spent their talent budget already. There ain't nobody new coming in. What you see is what you got. That's it.
Well,
Moxley took all that money. He took all the last of the big money.
Well, the big complaint that I have heard about them so far, and they've only done 3 shows.
3 shows.
Okay, they've only done 3 shows. So
technically, they've only done 2 shows because All In wasn't AEW. And Tony Khan was talking to TNT about a wrestling show before there wasn't even an idea of AEW.
The one complaint I have heard is technically the show is about at the Vince level, but the play-by-play really needs work.
Yeah, because JR's not going to do every show.
Well, no, he's not going to do every show, but which having a weekly show will help that a lot. Right. But it's going to make the first bunch of shows rough.
Yeah, Brian Alvarez is pretty good. Excalibur, the other guy doing the commentary team, he wears a mask. With some people are going to go, I know that's a bit you wear, but casual wrestling fans are going to go, why the hell is he wearing a mask?
That's cute and everything, but it's stupid because you're not going to see them. The majority of the time they're on the show, you're just going to hear them. You're not going to see them.
You're going to see
why the hell are you wearing a mask? But anyway, what do you got?
Tony Khan basically said, we're going to treat this like sports. They're going to say wins and losses are important, which is something you can do in pro football. It doesn't work in pro wrestling.
Outside of, we want to be different, why are they going to do that?
Because he's a sports guy.
Okay, well, it's not sports, it's sports entertainment.
Yeah, it's sports entertainment.
It's a different animal.
Yeah, it's a different animal. So they're going to try that. So there'll be no 50-50 booking. Okay, you win a match, I win a match. You win a match, I win a match. Well, they're not going to try to do that. And they also said things like, no scripted promos. So whatever you got is whatever you got. Some of those guys aren't ready for that yet, and it's going to be a little rough from time to time.
Well, it's wrestling. What is the point of keeping track of wins and losses when it's all scripted?
Impact did this. Even the WWE did this, where they had like who was the top 10 wrestlers, and they kept moving around. And after about a month, people went, "Who cares? It's wrestling. We don't take that seriously."
So like a popularity contest.
Yeah, it's a popularity contest. One thing they will do, they'll be pushing tag team wrestling, but they've got all the tag teams they got to get. For all the people go, the revival's coming. The revival's not coming. The revival's got a year left in their contract. Vince is letting no one go. They've spent their talent budget, so what you see is what you get, which means you're going to get a lot of lucha wrestling, and you're going to get a lot of SEMA Asian wrestling. A lot of teams from Japan are going to be there. So if you're looking for some really hot, amazing American teams, they ain't coming. And there's also an issue about the night. They said Tuesday on TNT is probably not going to be the night, because what happens in the fall on Tuesdays on TNT?
Not baseball.
Basketball.
Oh, basketball.
Which means you're not going to do a live show, and they're not going to take the place of the basketball game, which suggests that what you would get if you put it on Tuesdays, you would get a taped version of the show they're doing. Because the basketball game is going to go on. And when the basketball game ends, it ends. And so, okay, well, after this is over, you can watch AEW. Okay, most people at 11:30 are going to go, I'm not watching it.
Well, so what you're telling me is, and folks in Chicago, where we're from, will understand this.
Yes.
This is a lot like being on Channel 9.
A lot like being on Channel 9.
Okay,
Yeah, Cubs and Sox games are on. Okay, we now rejoined our program. We're already in progress.
Remember the glory days of Deep Space Nine?
Yeah.
You know, how wonderful it was when WGN got Deep Space Nine, except we're going to preempt it whenever the hell we need to.
Yeah, whatever we need
for
to.
whatever sports game.
Tonight, this week, AEW show will be seen on Thursdays at 3 o'clock in the morning.
crap like that.
Yeah.
Which will not help them.
Which will not help them at all, which means that
they need to be consistent with that because people need to know that this is the night and this is the time every week where I can tune in and watch this show. If they start moving it around in the schedule, it's going to get lost.
Do people know what Impact's on? Do you know what network they're on?
Not really.
No one does, and that's why nobody's watching Impact.
I thought it was on Spike, man. That was like, what, 4 or 5 months ago?
It was on Pop, and it's on some other place now. And now people go, is that still around? Is that still there?
I really haven't seen Impact in almost 8 months now.
It's because no one knows what it's on.
Back in the WCW days, that never happened with WCW.
Oh, no.
They had that slot lock. For good or for ill.
Thunder was on Thursday night, period. Thursday night, Thunder. That's it. No delays, nothing. Thursday night, Thunder.
Yeah, same with Monday nights on
and back Nitro. But you'd have the bet where you could watch Nitro from 7 to 10, or you could not watch Nitro and you could watch Raw because you knew that they were going to rerun Nitro afterwards anyway. So you would, I would watch. I'd go, well, I'm going to tape Raw. Why? Because when I get home, Nitro's going to be starting as soon as I walk in the door. So what's the point in me taping it? So I can watch both in the same night. So you go to bed like 2 in the morning going, okay, I watched 6 hours of wrestling. Man, I'm burnt out.
Yeah, well, you know what something like that does? You say to yourself, man, I could really live out the last 2 hours of WCW.
Yeah, I could really go.
And at some point, you actually do.
And at some point, you simply go, okay, I got the timer on the VCR. I'm going to bed.
Or you fast forward through
it. Or you fast forward through it, Because I DVR SmackDown and Raw. I fast forward through them. I read the recaps on the Observer before I get home, and I don't need to see this, I don't need to see that, I need to see this, I need to see that. But I make it a point to watch the Bray Wyatt stuff, because that stuff's strange.
Yeah. What else you got?
This is, they've got their budget set, they're going to try to do something different, they're going to try to do big on social media, which is great. My only problem with that is, you've got to have that gap between All Out and October. What are you going to do between now and then?
Well, between now and October, they're going to do what they've been doing. That's just tap dance and put their stuff together.
Well, yeah, tap dance.
The show doesn't come on until October.
Yeah.
I mean,
so then All Out's like in the end of August, so you've got the entire month of September. There's nothing going on. And the 2-hour show, by the way, they will be popping up at venues and setting up the show for that venue, and then they'll be moving on. So these are basically going to be televised house shows with the commentators.
So they're basically doing what WWE was like, which worked too.
Yeah,
because
it worked.
Let's say you got a guy's heavyweight champion. I don't need to see a heavyweight champion defend his belt every pay-per-view.
No, you don't.
You build up on that. That's why Hogan became the way it was. Hogan wasn't defending the belt every pay-per-view.
Well, no, when Hogan had the belt, he would defend it at pay-per-views, but it was a long stretch between
right.
Back then, it wasn't.
It was like maybe three at the most.
It wasn't every 3 to 4 weeks you had a pay-per-view. You had 4 to 5 pay-per-views a year, so you had much longer time in between.
Yeah, you only had.
And Hogan never defended it on
TV.
The TV
show. He would show up on like the Saturday night main event.
No, they do matches where he would defend the belt, but you knew he wasn't going to lose.
He wasn't going to lose. Yeah. Now, the biggest problem they're going to have is, this is what's going to make and break them. The main event for All Out is going to be Hangman Page versus Chris Jericho. If you're trying to get mainstream interest, who's winning the match?
That's a good one.
Mainstream interest means Jericho's got to win, but you're also trying to push Page. But if you make Page the champion in the first show in October, as high as a new champion, Hangman Page, you know what people are going to do? I don't know who the hell it is. I'm changing the champs.
Well, you can make it a schmaz.
No, they don't want to do schmazes.
Okay. Or you can make it that Jericho cheats. And that's how he wins.
He's been cheating, yeah.
But he obviously overtly cheats in order to win, so everybody feels sympathy for the other guy.
Build them up.
And then builds them up, and you get...
Because Jericho works both ways as a heel in the face.
Jericho works in Japan as a total heel. I mean, if you look at Jericho, what he wears in Japan, he's wearing like, Joker makeup and hats and strange little outfits and stuff. It's not what he looked like when he wrestled here. He wouldn't do that. But yeah, he works both ways, depending on the program. Same thing with Moxley. Moxley's not a heel. Moxley's not a face. You know what Moxley really is? He's Jake Roberts.
Are you getting a snake?
No, he's not getting a snake. He's not getting his pot plant back either. He'll be your wild card anti-hero who come in and interfere and do stuff. And the other problem you're going to have with him is Omega, Moxley, Jericho, they can work for New Japan anytime they want to. They're there, but only Moxley is full-time. The rest of them, they're part-timers.
So maybe they can, once the pay-per-view comes out and the buy-in gets a little bit bigger, Cody Rhodes can probably have a little bit more money leeway to get them over into full-time.
Well, the other problem I see with him is the fact Cody Rhodes and the Young Bucks are vice president. If you're vice presidents, does that mean you win every match you're in? And if you do, then what makes you different from Triple H?
Or the McMahon family.
Yeah, what makes you different?
Well, I think they're smart enough to realize that.
They got
to not do that.
Well, one of those videos, they said that they all sit around and they all talk about stuff and they argue about the ideas and they come up with it's organic. I don't know if you can book that way. I don't really know if that's a realistic way of booking.
So in other words, they need a traffic.
They need a traffic cop, and that's what JR will be. He'll be the traffic cop.
But if they're doing weekly shows, they'll have to lay stuff out.
Yeah.
You can't just throw together next week's show the day before.
Well, Cody
you
said
actually have to end today's show with something to get you into next week's show.
Well, Cody did say
which means a plan.
He did say they had like a 6-month outline.
Okay, that's fine. You start after the first month, you start working the outline farther down.
Yeah.
So it's always ahead. But if they're starting off with 6 months and if they keep working at it, it'll be fine.
And then once you get past the year, then you start bringing in new talent. But yeah, if you got people who are working for the WWE like Sasha Banks, she got 2 years left on her contract. She's not coming. They're under contract. They're not going anywhere, and Vince isn't letting anyone go. Luke Harper wanted to go. He asked for his release. Vince said, well, not only am I not releasing you, but the 6 months you weren't working, which you were hurt, I extended your contract 6 months.
There are a bunch of talent floating around out there that aren't signed anywhere, like Awesome Kong, who they picked up, who people would like to see.
I will be willing to bet she will, but she's also doing Glow. So, yeah, she'll be there.
Well, she'll be there, but there's other folks that are floating around out there.
Yeah,
too.
there are people out
not from the WWE, but they're free agents that are floating.
Well, as we
who worked at WWE,
as
but
we
don't
discussed,
anymore.
Ryback's out there.
Ryback's out there as long as he doesn't kill anybody.
Don't think they're going to sign him, but he's out there.
Yeah, there's folks like Awesome Kong and Ryback that are floating around out there, and they don't need to tie up a lot of them. All they need is one or two.
They'll come in every once in a while. I mean, they sign.
What do you think Moxley is? Moxley is exactly that type of guy, except he wasn't like floating around out there. He walked from one show to the other.
Yeah, he wasn't really planning on signing him. Then he talked to Khan, and Khan talked to him, and they worked it out. So when they said, we didn't know Moxley was going to be there. Well, yes, you did. They've been talking since he left. The video that he did, that was done afterwards by someone he knows. Yeah, everyone knew he was going to be there. We didn't know he was going to be there. Everyone knew he was going to be there. And CM Punk, by the way, he's not coming.
Pop right now.
That's it.
He's not coming?
Right now.
You sure he's not coming?
Yeah, he's not. He's done. He's not wrestling anymore. He's done.
Commentary.
He's already got a commentary job from some crappy MMA foundation.
Okay, some crappy MMA foundation, as opposed to
AEW. He also didn't spend a lot of money, so he's not exactly hurting for cash.
At some point, I would think that he would want to get back into the game, even if it's just commentary.
Then you can use Dustin. Dustin's not going to be wrestling much longer.
Well, he said that.
Yeah, he could be doing commentary.
You actually think he's going to sit out permanently?
Who?
Punk.
He doesn't need the money.
I know. That was the whole thing about it. Wasn't the money?
He's lost interest in the entire idea of wrestling.
That's sad. You actually had a guy who wasn't necessarily a muscular guy, but who can actually talk and wrestle at the same time.
Are you telling me he's lost his smile?
He's lost his smile.
Oh, okay. We're doing
He lost his
the Shawn Michaels thing now.
He lost his smile.
Well, when Shawn lost his smile, he was high, too.
Yeah, he was high a lot back then. He lost his smile.
Well, it wasn't just that he was high. He was also, need to go into rehab.
Yeah, it was a couple rehab things. Yeah. It's like, Shawn, you high? What?
When was the last time you were straight? So what do you think Vince is going to do?
Nothing. They're not direct competition. People keep saying they are. They're not on the same night. Cody said they're going for the lapsed wrestling fans. They're gone. They're not coming back. I said this from the moment this thing started. You know what AEW is to me? It's Ring of Honor with a better TV deal. That's what it is. You can't compete with Vince because Vince has signed any free agent out there that's out there, any person who's coming into wrestling, those tryout camps, he can afford to pay all those people to work in the developmental center. See, who exactly are you going to get that Vince hasn't already got in his eye on?
If you're talking about wrestling fans that have lapsed back in the Stone Cold days because Stone Cold's not on anymore, no, they're not going to get them back. Right. But if you're talking about folks within the last year who've gotten sick of the product because ratings have crashed on WWE on Monday nights, those folks, they're gettable.
They're talking about the 18 to 34 crowd. That's what they're trying to get. That's the audience they're looking for. So, guys like us, they're not really looking for us. We're old.
What's wrong with us?
We're old.
Speak for yourself.
You're old.
we still know about Dick to Bruce at the International.
There you go.
Speak for yourself. Gray hair.
If you walked in and asked, who's Dick to Bruiser?
Yeah, I've done that. There's a guy I work with, and I told him about these old wrestler names up there, and he looked at me like, huh? Did he have a gimmick? No, the guy just came in and wrestled.
Those are the same people when Kurt Angle came back from the WWE. They said, what have you been doing for the past couple of years? I was in TNA. Huh?
Well, and that's the problem. Where the hell do you watch TNA at?
Well, no, this is when they had a deal. This is when they were on Spike. This is when they were on every week and they were actually advertising.
Nobody gave a damn about Spike.
The Man Channel.
The Nashville Network.
The Man Channel.
They were better off on the Nashville Network.
Well, that's what Spike is.
Yeah, I know, but they were better off when it was Nashville.
Yeah, TNN.
Yeah, well, part of the problem with Spike was it became not a basic package. It became
It's a manly man's package.
No, it became just above.
It's a man.
You get a package. You got your basic, you got your premium, and then they made this new tier in between that places like Spike fell into. Where if you pay just a little bit more, not premium, but just a little bit more, you get these other half dozen channels, which you've been getting all along anyway.
Right. But
we're not giving to you anymore because you went once you pay a little bit more for them. And I thought to myself, Spike's nice. I don't care that much about it. Seriously, I don't care that much about it. And so, I stopped getting Spike.
We becoming in danger of becoming like those old guys that go, oh, back in my day, it used to be a tag team match, and it used to go for 60 minutes, and it was some good moves on there, and it was the end of it, and if they cheated, and it was a fight over there. Now, because this generation now is so on to WWE, they don't even know what a good match is.
You know what? 30 years ago, old guys were saying the same about you.
Well,
welcome to the real. No, it wasn't. It was exactly
That's a whole lot different. That wasn't
exactly the same thing.
That was maybe five wrestling corporations back then, 30 years ago.
But you're talking about the style of play,
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Exactly the same 34 years.
Kind of regular trunks in there fighting, and that's it. And maybe if you want to up the ante, put a little blood in there. 25-year-old
Rod Flash is looking at these old guys and shaking his head, going, "I don't know what the hell your problem is, old."
Hey, I like Ox Baker.
Guess what? You're the old man now.
Ox Baker was a lumbering.
The heart punch. I love that.
And that's going to do it for us. We're done with this episode of The Alternate Reality. As I said, we're only doing half-hour episodes now. Be sure to go to the store's website, though, myalternatereality.com, where you can find this podcast. You can also find the store shipping videos, Bocepheus' news. You can also find Vito Carly's reviews, good old JR's reviews, store sales, and much, much more. myalternatereality.com. Please stop off there and check it out. I'd really appreciate that. Until next time, this is Comicbookman.
This is Rod Flash.
This is Bo. How you doing?
Yeah, this is Bo. How you doing? We're leaving now.
How you doing?
We're leaving
Don't
now.
forget us, okay? We'll be back with another show soon.
Yeah, we're about to record this next show.
Hey, stop! Curtain.
We're about to
pulling the curtain.
Yeah, be sure to come back because we're about to record whatever the hell the next show is going to be.
Curtain puller.
Until next time, though, this is Comic Book Man saying thank you very much, and as always, bye. Thanks a lot for listening. If you enjoyed this show, please like and share it with all your friends. We value your feedback, so drop us a question, comment, show idea, or complaint either at aircomics@msn.com or, if provided, in the comments section down below on this platform. The opinions expressed in this episode are solely those of the individuals and not necessarily those of Alternate Reality Incorporated. This show is, as always, coming to you from the Alternate Reality Comic Shop, located in the heart of beautiful downtown Mount Greenwood at the intersection of 111th and Kedzie, serving Chicago comics fandom since 1994.
We'll be back right after these important messages.